everybody who's been here before, and thank you, Shauna, by the way, that's very sweet. We're gonna do this. If you've been here before, you know what we're doing next. If you are new to this experience, grab your remote, have your thumb on that play button, but do not press it yet, because we are going to press it at the same time on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I love how she says, "How long have we been married?"
I know, it's so great.
Did we
I have never had an oyster, and they seem really disgusting.
They're very
yummy.
delicious.
It's very slurpy.
It's just like snot creatures. Like,
If it's made right and I actually can't taste it, then I'm fine.
Oysters are so good. But also, I love Lorelai's look. Just love the hair.
The dry
yeah, I don't like the hair
It's
too
so
much,
cute.
actually.
I love.
I
It's one of my
love-
faves.
Octopus
Maybe if it wasn't
ice
clipped up on the
cream.
top, it would look better.
John, were you going to ask something?
I was just gonna say I love oysters, and I really like Lorelai's hair.
Oh, okay. You started a sentence with "Did we just?" and I was like, "Where was that going?"
What about octopus ice cream?
The sentence was going to be, did we just already talk about Lorelai's hair, or am I?
Oh no,
Like
we
a-
had not. No.
This is right.
Yeah,
at the
then I
beginning of
realized that you were talking about oysters, and then I decided not to ask the question.
This is right in the beginning of that poof phase, and Lorelai's hair reflects that. And we all poofed our hair like that.
I've never had thick enough hair to be able to do that, and it kind of makes me.
Just don't do my hair like that, like every day. It's just naturally poofy.
Oh my
No,
god, I
bump
love
it.
that so bad.
She
forgot
doesn't have a
about that.
bump.
Nope. Boozoo.
Boozoo!
Boozoo.
I love Boozoo.
Boozoo.
Somebody likes Zydeco in the writing or in the writers. 'Cause this is
Alright.
the second time.
Oh yeah.
The audition.
Why is that guy just standing behind them, like really awkwardly smiling and crossing his arms?
Because he can't believe there's a medical band in his hotel.
I don't know, he's just staring.
He wants to listen.
He just doesn't know what to believe. I mean, Zydeco
Oh, he's
is
not.
not huge.
They scared him away. Oh no, there he
I've
is.
seen it.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
I danced to this.
It is fun, but it's kind of like the same stuff over and over again. I've been to a couple places where they were Zydeco.
Suki
So
Shepard
hilarious.
It
It's-
was like velvet.
It's basically the same song.
Oh, absolutely. Was it supposed to be a different song?
Yeah, it was. The idea was supposed to be like, oh, she didn't like that one. Let's give her another one. Let's give her.
That's really how they are when you.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like
it
the-
sounds like this.
It's
It just sounds like the same song.
one
Every one of them.
non-stop.
It's like Luke and his Jamaican CD that always sounds the same.
Yes.
It's like the copy my homework, but make it look like you didn't copy my homework.
Also, are those guys actually playing those instruments?
It didn't look like it.
It did not look believable.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I actually don't think they were playing their instruments because I know that they like to have things real, like the music to be realistic on the show. This one, I don't think so. I think that this was specifically designed to really sound ridiculous.
Oh, this is cute.
That's funny.
Okay, Regina, today his hair reminds me of the Queen of Hearts and Alice in Wonderland, where it's a little bit higher on the outside.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm still waiting for that flock of seagulls reference.
Wait,
I don't see it today.
I don't
The
see
Queen
it.
of Hearts.
Has he been to FanFest? Does anybody know if he's been to FanFest?
It was definitely
No,
at
we
the
did the
virtual.
virtual one last year.
We were just
Virtual one.
talking about that in the chat. If he was going to be invited to watch with us because he's been to FanFest.
He has
I
been.
think-
Has he been to the physical one? Because I'm trying to remember if I've met him in person.
It seems, according to the Marcus stat, he was just at the virtual.
They're still playing.
Isn't he going this year?
And yes, he is going this year.
Here comes the bride.
That kind of surprises me that he wouldn't want to do something with her for Valentine's Day.
I don't know. He's sort of like I'll give you gifts whenever I feel like giving gifts during the year, but like I'm not gonna be like this one day where everyone's supposed to do it because it's kind of like a make money sort of holiday. Feels like the vibe.
I mean, I get that, but I get that way of thinking, but it seems like Luke is mostly motivated by what he thinks makes her happy.
Agreed.
True, yeah.
That's on my list of things to go and do to Martha's Vineyard.
And the girl
really-
picture's back above the phone today.
I really hate that peach color that they chose. It just does not look right.
I think it looks like
Look, John, there's the
butterfly.
dollhouse.
I was
You were
just
wondering where
about
she
to
was
say
gonna
the
put that.
same thing.
I was just going to say the same thing about the dollhouse. The dollhouse now has a new place. It seems on the show, right? That's going to
Let's
seems
put
like it's going
that
to stay
there.
there.
Yeah.
I love Lorelai's jeans.
I do too.
Good old early 2000s.
What do you mean?
That was the style in like 2005, 2006, that time.
The
If you're talking ripped
pre-torn
jeans, ripped jeans are popular today.
With like
Means
the
a boot
flare
cut.
at the bottom and the pocket.
Sorry, guys. It's the boot cut, yeah.
The
The boot cut
flare.
pocket. They're nasty.
I love that he asks, how do we feel about him?
Whatever happened to the creepy neighbor?
They must have stolen all of his board games and he left because Yeah, his he couldn't ex-wife live might have without just them. kidnapped him back home.
Got drowned by the sprinklers.
Or his ex-wife figured out where he was and somebody let him know and he went off hiding somewhere else.
Sounds like a true crime podcast waiting to happen.
Collaboration with writers. Let's go.
By the
I
way,
never used
Cindy,
awkward.
Cindy just reminded me that that Devin was indeed at that fan fest. He was there in 2018. I was also there in 2018. So we did meet.
Must have been memorable for you, John.
Well, I mean, we probably didn't. I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time together, and it was probably in passing, or but he was like kind of part of the whole Yale aspect of the fan fest.
He is probably with the.
Yeah, but the reason why I say it is because I kind of remember us having a brief, like, oh, hello, you were on the show. Yeah, I was on the show. That kind of thing. Like, not really. I mean, I didn't know what he was on the show. I just sort of remembered him, and I've seen him in like when he first appeared on the show. I was like, that guy looks familiar.
Any idea where this would have been filmed at?
I feel like this is actually a house or just a really dope soundstage.
Like, it always surprised me, like, run more than 2 showers, it turns to cold water, but like, this is supposed to be like a really rich person's like place. Like, you think they'd have water, heated water for 3 showers at the same time.
I gotta say, I like all this so far.
Me too.
Hey, John,
And
you may know this. Do you know where this could have been filmed?
it's
Is this an
filmed
actual
in
house?
Malibu.
That's what I thought.
Well, I haven't seen enough to know whether it's filmed anywhere outside of a studio, because so far they've just been inside a house. But
IMDb says it's Malibu.
yeah, I mean, it's very possible that there are parts of it in Malibu. This might be part of it, but I might also this part might have been shot on set, and if we go outside, then maybe that was in Malibu.
It
Oh, this
sounds
irks
though
me.
that Rory has been to this place more than once because she knows all the rules.
I hate
Well,
Luke in
she
this
says,
moment
"Oh,
right
I've been here before."
Ooh,
They like when they walk
that
in the door.
sounded like some serious.
Yes.
That sounded like some serious foreshadowing there. With we're not going to break up in the next 3 days.
Well,
Uh-oh.
No,
Well,
they
no,
said
he was
Logan and
saying
Rory
that-
aren't gonna break up.
yeah, he was saying that like he hopes that they don't break up, because he was just saying that like he thought how Rory was humiliated when Logan corrected her.
Yeah, he doesn't want Logan and Rory to break up.
Oh, okay. Is it possible that they'll still break up, Luke and Lorelai, within the next 3 days?
You
can't
can't
ask
ask those
Are you
questions.
wishing for that?
Those are not allowed questions.
Yeah, you can't ask that yet.
It was more of a question to the universe.
Just
They
give
already
us
had
your
a breakup.
prediction.
It was more of a
Hopefully-
question to the universe. I wasn't expecting a response
Okay,
from the universe.
cool.
Okay, yes, this is in Malibu. Definitely.
Now that it's more than dark.
Now that it's more than dark, it's definitely in Malibu, and they wouldn't have made a duplicate of the set inside the.
So they're
Yeah.
actually at a house.
Yeah, they're at a
Yeah.
house somewhere in Malibu.
Dope. Whoever house that is, I want.
That explains the lighting. Seems softer sometimes.
He's going backpacking.
I think he thought he was going on Survivor.
Yeah, I was
Not
just
going
gonna
to Martha's
ask,
Vineyard.
like, did he actually know he was coming to a house? Like, what was he preparing for the apocalypse?
He's got that Dean Winchester knife, dude.
It's a Bowie knife.
It's the type of knife that David Bowie would use.
Yeah,
Nice.
rebel.
I don't like those panels.
Folks who have like
put over the fridges.
a coffee thing, like the kind that are at like Starbucks in their house. I mean,
My mom used to have one of those when I was a kid for when she had her bridge club over. She'd make a pot of coffee and then they'd put it out by where they were playing bridge.
I have one of those because of just having my kids' birthday parties and different
My father
baby
had this-
showers and things.
the 40-gallon one that he took from the funeral home.
I feel like Rory and Logan are like playing house in this scene. It's
They act like they've been doing this a lot. Like, when did they do this? When did they come here before?
wait a
Well,
second.
she-
Didn't Logan just say you should take a coat, and then he said I'm fine. Now he's wearing the jacket.
Because he was probably cold and thought, oh crap. But yeah, Rory's probably been here, before, because like, it is Logan's parents' place.
What's really impressive is that that's all not ADR audio. That's all like live audio, and it's surprising that they were able to get that with all of the waves, the noise from the waves.
this is how everyone reacts if I were to ever say I was going to the gym.
The
Same.
fact that I only go to the gym once a year, yeah. Same here.
I just can't believe she hasn't talked to her about these little things, or like she was doing these things, since they tell each other everything.
I agree. Well, they did go those months without talking while she was dating Logan, so maybe they went out there on the weekends when she and her mom weren't getting along.
She and Logan were also broke up for part of that too.
The strut.
Not for much of it. I mean, they had been like broken up for like a couple days when she came back home.
I always thought they were broken up for a couple weeks, like over the Thanksgiving holiday and stuff. But I don't-
Yeah, it was a few weeks. Because she found out for Thanksgiving.
Like on Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
When she
yeah, that's when Honor called.
And then he won her back when she came back after the winter break, I think, for the second semester.
Yep.
These workout outfits they're just not doing it. What is this outfit that Logan is wearing?
I don't know. People didn't wear that kind of crap.
Damn,
What bothers me is
that
like
was
how
impressive.
what
I like-
bothers me is how snarky and very
That-
bad attitude Luke is being right now.
That I don't know. I geeked out. I always geek out over like actors playing sports for real. I mean, it's not like what he's doing is extraordinary in basketball terms, but he looks really good, and he got the shot. Which also, by the way, that's another thing. It's like, you know, if he didn't get that shot, they would have to keep doing it over until he did.
Apparently, that sort of style that Logan was wearing was like pretty in with like rich people back in the days.
What's very interesting is that Rory says she was in Greece in her Zen trance, and we had just watched Sister of the Traveling Pants, which she did right before, like 2 seasons prior to this. Okay.
The amount of layers that they're working out in though just doesn't make sense.
It's February, right?
Makes you sweat. Makes you lose more count.
Did anybody hear what I said?
I love that line.
No?
Nobody
Okay.
won. We just had fun.
It was the Top Gun song.
I just really like Logan.
Did anybody
I
hear
don't
what
know.
I said?
I did hear what you said, and
Oh,
Luke
nobody
was
knew.
being kind of a jerk, if that's what
Not
you're
interesting.
referring.
Well, that and the Greece comment that Rory made.
Yep.
Considering we just watched Sister of the Traveling.
I like Lorelai's outfit.
And also her hair.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Luke never likes any of Rory's boyfriend.
Nope, he doesn't think
He
anybody.
liked Jess for like a minute.
Well, only that's because
That's
it's his neck.
Yeah.
But even then, he told Lorelai that he, you know, he was not even good enough.
Mm-hmm.
This thing.
She did wear an apron in Donna Reed.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did.
And pearls.
And we all know how that worked out.
I like this look better. It's more sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I do like her hair.
She stole my
Both of 'em.
hairstyle. It's fine.
Steph, you coined it first.
When did
Steph,
she learn
you
how
do
to
look
cook?
very Rory-ish. Just in general.
I think the technical term for that is like a microplane, but it's also like
Yes, that is a microplane. I used to sell Pampered Chef. The amount of toys and tools that I have in the house is ridiculous.
My Uncrustables maker from Pampered Chef is my favorite tool, Sherry.
What did you mean it would do a foot?
Hence my comment in my my tweet.
I'm lobster obsessed.
Oh, I love lobster, and I love that grilling some lobster. Oh, I wish I was there right now.
You and me both.
I haven't had a good lobster roll in nearly a decade since I moved out of my parents' house.
That's a ton of lobster for 4 people.
I could probably kill off 2 whole ones.
So John, you're now starting to see why I've always liked Logan, right?
Oh, Chris, you like Logan?
Yes, I've always liked this
Yay!
character.
Yeah, I mean, I just like this Logan. I just really like this Logan.
Me too.
He does do that smiling, laughing, casual thing that Christopher does. Christopher does the same thing, like has that same.
Hey,
kind of-
let's not compare
Let's
them.
not.
Let's no.
I'm
No,
just
that's
saying.
acceptable.
I'm just
I
saying.
think it
No.
seems genuine. I don't I don't particularly like either one of them all that much, but I think that I like that about both of them.
They really don't want you to compare Christopher and Logan, John.
I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like,
I also would like to take one of those off of the tray and eat it right now.
Yeah, that
Uh-huh.
I would also like
John,
to
are you
last.
dinner
drink,
minded
drink.
right now? Do you need some dinner?
And they're talking about over mashing potatoes. It will become glue, not soup.
I don't think she's mashing them hard
Absolutely,
enough.
it will become glue.
Yeah,
You do not want to over KitchenAid with your potatoes.
It only really does that if you like try to use a hand blender. Like I
You
did
talking
that
about?
one
You
of the
talking about
times I made
over
mashed
mashing potatoes?
Yeah, she
Oh, yeah.
said that it don't over mash it, it'll become soup. No, it won't. It will become glue.
Yeah, that's right. It really will. It will become some texture that is just does not feel like you should be eating it. I would say it becomes more of like a gummy texture.
Mm-hmm.
John, did you catch that last part of that last scene?
No.
The one.
Rory said, "These could be the one."
Ooh.
And Laura and I didn't look super happy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No, did you hear what Logan did? Logan offered one of the gifts that he bought.
I know. I know.
Rory,
I
too.
know.
She's not at all like aware of the same ribbon and the same box and the same, like, it's so obvious it's this.
I'm uncomfortable for them.
My goodness.
Wait, why is everyone uncomfortable?
Just because it seems obvious that he didn't get it himself.
Look at how
Well, I mean, Lorelai is a little bit daft
tables.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Logan
See,
is
Logan's
coming
hovering
in to
for him.
save the
Yep.
day.
Well, I mean,
Logan's
Lorelai is a little bit. Lorelai's a bit
Lorelai's
nasty.
not really thinking it through, but that's okay. She's just caught up in the moment. That's nice, and also so nice that Logan did that for him. Like so nice.
Yeah.
Now he loves him.
I want lobster now.
Living in a landlocked state sucks.
Oy, oy, oy. Is this why people don't like the episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't thinking
Oh,
this
wait.
part.
There's more.
Part of it is this stuff.
This is a small part of it.
People don't like the awkwardness between Rick and Lorelai.
I mean, I get the pain of it all, but we can
Just
we
wait,
can
John.
do it. We can do it. We can do it, everyone. We can do it. We can get through this stuff.
We can support each other.
We're here for each other.
Do you
We're
hear
here
what
to.
he just said?
Yes.
The first time we hear him say, "I love you,"
Yes.
and that's why I don't hate it.
Yeah, he does redeem himself just a little bit.
A tiny bit.
What's also weird is that the quality of the shots when they do these like Martha's Vineyard shots all look very different. They don't look like they're shot on film. They look like
The
they're shot on
stock
video.
shots.
Yeah. so clear that they got them from like iStock or like
Kind of like
Getty or something.
1980s stock shot.
Yeah, I mean, ocean sleep. Oof. Ocean sleep is
Time.
It is the best.
What is it, like 30 to 40 seconds still? If you guys know, 30 to 40 seconds, right?
Yep.
That seems like it's like tape that thermos is like glued on there because when it tipped, it did not move at all. And when he unscrewed it, it didn't move at all.
I have Emilio Estevez and her in the new Mighty.
I enjoyed that one.
Hmm?
Oh man, that Rory comment is gonna come back.
What if they get married and then
And lift
what if
off.
they get married and then they get divorced?
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Did you expect that, John?
No. Whoa.
Surprise!
Whoa.
Gets better.
I'm like a couple seconds behind, I guess.
Oh. Oh. Wow.
Yep.
This is why I've always thought he's more relatable to Lorelai, of wanting to be out from under his family.
Oh.
I can't stand him.
Basura.
Oh
He
my
can get
goodness.
hit
Oh,
by a
Lily,
car.
using that word for him, that's solely reserved for
There's the
Christopher.
Nick you were
No,
waiting
you
for.
Oh my goodness, that was intense.
I want to know bloopers on that scene.
I feel like there wasn't.
Those
I
two
think
actors
there's
did a good job.
enough tension.
Oof.
Yep.
And I feel bad for him.
Whoa.
It's like The Bachelor. I'm just kidding.
But no
It's
limo.
no rose for you.
Yeah, but there's no limo.
It's definitely too green to be the East Coast in February.
Oh my goodness. Now that's some serious conflict. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. It hurts so good. There was a recent
Yeah.
poll that was like the worst people on the show, and Strobe won, but man, Mitchum, really.
Close
Close
second.
second.
Wasn't far behind, was he? I can't stand Mitchum.
Caesar.
She's pretty smart.
Back to reality.
Oh, geez, Luke.
Yup.
Let her in.
Like she lives so far away.
Yeah, a whole 500.
And Scars Hollow is such a sketchy town.
Oh yeah.
The worst.
I like her jacket.
Crazy bag boys might jump out.
I like that jacket of hers. Yeah, I like that jacket.
Yeah.
It's a
that's
very
the one
nice jacket, yes.
Yeah, I said that I think yesterday. she was wearing it.
Like Luke's without with a big flap.
Yeah.
These Lala's.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
How Lorelai did not predict that is just insane.
Exactly.
Oh, I would have been so mad. And look, it's just a picture of Laura.
Yeah, a
Oh
huge
my
photo of her.
gosh. Oh my god.
Emily said just a picture of Lorelai, not one of both of them.
Is there a picture of the both of them?
Honestly,
my
there.
God.
Yeah, I
Emily
was gonna
probably
say
doesn't
they
have a
may not
picture
have
of
had.
her.
Oh my goodness. Do you want to know my feelings about this episode right now?
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yes,
I-
open up the couch.
I
Talk while you're.
love this episode. I love it.
Thank you.
I
I appreciate you not leaving me on that ledge by myself.
The
No,
Jerry
I
likes
like
to
to-
Jerry.
We've got a
Sorry,
few
one,
of this.
1 second.
That
I'm not sure why people hate it so much. I mean, it has a shitty ending, but
All right. All right, everybody. I'm going to open up the couch here. Hold on just a second. Sorry, I'm dealing with dog barking in the background. I don't want to get I don't want that to overpower the couch moment. We're bringing folks up on the couch right now. Please come join us. Let's talk. Let's have a lively discussion about this rock solid episode. I'm sorry. It's a good episode. It's a good episode. Yeah, painful. I get it. Totally painful.
I love
But
it.
we get so much insight into these characters, especially Logan, and oof, man, does it feel like the season just has gotten really, really interesting.
So many.
I love it for the lobster.
How about that, Mitch?
And also the lobster. Oh my gosh, I want lobster.
Just
so
for the lobster.
bad. I want lobster.
Me too.
I miss lobster. Last time I had good lobster was 3 years ago. I was in Maine. So,
Yum.
God,
I
yeah,
would
this is
love
a this
that.
is a classic
I would like it, but
episode.
I don't know. Maybe I would.
So, John, you were not at all spoiled on Mitchum showing up at the end.
Not even slightly. Didn't see it coming. Not a bit. That was awesome. And like just the way that it happened, like coming in the room with Lorelai and Luke. I mean, just everything
Oh,
about it
Mitchum.
was just awesomely crazy. I loved it. I loved this episode. I
So
really loved this episode.
I feel the
I've always
exact same
thought
about
that
Mitchell
Logan
showing
and-
up in this episode as I did the first time I.
I've always thought that Logan and Lorelai had a lot more similarities than a lot of people give him credit for having, because of the fact that he wants to be out from under his parents. He doesn't like the control they try to put over him. He just hasn't figured out how to get away, and he didn't just run away. Not that she ran away because of that. She left because she had a child and didn't want them controlling all that. But I always felt like they had more in common. And that episode is
Except
why I
for-
thought that.
Yeah, that's true. I
Except-
could totally see. And Logan's like not running away.
Chris for the win. Yes.
Throwing
Clicking.
it out
The
there
man
while I
is mad.
can before everybody gets going.
So
Now
Right.
just listen to you all.
Mm.
Kathy Ann, got your message. Thank you. She said yes.
wait, repeat that last bit. Repeat that last bit. I was
Okay.
dealing with some dog stuff.
So I always thought Lorelai and Logan had a lot more in common than people really ever
Oh, right,
gave credit for
right,
in the
right,
show.
right.
Because he doesn't want to be controlled by his family and what they want him to do. He always wants to kind of get out from under it. Where he appears like he does, he kind of just, but he hasn't figured out how to get out from under his family. He's still going to school. He's still kind of living the life, but it's not what he wants. He feels trapped. And Lorelai kind of felt that way when she was at home, and she left when she was 16 and after she had her child, but she still left because she felt controlled and didn't want to live the life they wanted her to live. And Logan's kind of in that same position at this point. And this episode, I think, really shows that fight between
Yeah.
him and his dad was very clear. So I always thought that Lorelai and Logan were similar in those ways. Logan's family is obviously a lot more wealthy than Lorelai's family, and they want a lot more control over his career and stuff. But I always thought they had that in common. And so sometimes I just feel
Yeah.
like people just hate on him, but they don't hate on her, but they have these similarities. So just
It's an
something I was throwing
interesting. It's interesting for an ensemble narrative for the characters to all have differences, right? Like, so that they're all very distinct characters, but then to like give traits from one to another, right? Or like to have like for them, like for us to be able to say, oh, Logan and Christopher are very similar because take a look at all of these things that make them similar. Or, oh, hey, look, Logan and Lorelai are very similar. Or, hey, look, Lorelai and Emily are really similar. Like, I think it's really sort of a sign of a very tight knit ensemble to sort of have characters exhibiting these. I mean, it's of course very realistic, right? Because people are, we often find ourselves having similarities with others in just these one like specific verticals. And I think that doing that here in the show is part of what makes the ensemble specifically stand out.
Wait, so what is the question? Because I had to step away for a little bit.
No question. We're
wasn't a
just chit chatting. We're talking about how interesting it is that Logan and Lorelai share this very specific similarity in that they both are rebels against their parents who want to sort of control their life, shape their life. The big question, of course, for me is, will Mitchum be successful? Will Mitchum successfully have Logan shipped off to London at the end of all this, and is that potentially going to end the relationship with him and Rory? That's of course now all I'm thinking.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I obviously Logan and Lorelai are somewhat cut from the same cloth, being as that they were kind of brought up in the same kind of family. Obviously, Lorelai's family is a little bit warmer than, well, a lot warmer than Logan's family, but they do share that similarity where they kind of were brought up in a family where
these are the expectations that you need to meet, and if you don't, you're kind of like the black sheep of the family. And I mean, granted, Logan at 16 didn't get anybody pregnant, so I mean, there's that difference. And Lorelai did get pregnant at 16, so there's that difference. But yeah, it's like it's so, I think back then when this first aired, we all, meaning like hundreds of thousands of viewers, didn't really see how connected Lorelai and Logan were.
Oh no, don't include me in that.
I didn't say you. I said viewers.
I was a viewer.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. Can I just finish?
Okay, good.
I know. I'm just, I just had to say. I just had to let you.
I get you. You're just sort of, you're making a generalization, which is totally fine.
That we didn't realize how much they were alike until this episode, and myself included. And it's very interesting, and it'd be interesting if we put them together, not in a relationship sense, but if they went to school at the same time, how would they get along?
Yeah, I have a kind of interesting comment to something Pasha just said about Logan didn't get anyone pregnant at 16. That sort of just sparked something like, well, what if he did? I have sort of the instinct that if he had, it would have been taken care of and there would not have been a child because of like who his family is. I just started thinking about that because I don't think they would have wanted that. It was a no, we're going to take care of this, and
Oh, you think that if that?
I mean,
do you think that
Logan isn't that type of person?
This is an interesting thought experiment. This is an interesting thought experiment. If that person was Lorelai, was a young Lorelai, would it have been taken care of, or would Lorelai have been like, no, well, you're not deciding for me what?
Yeah, Lorelai would have been like,
here's the thing. Strobe did try to take care of it.
That's right. He did. That's right.
And Emily wouldn't have it because she didn't want to do that.
It was Richard. Richard said, or no, it was Emily. Emily said that wasn't an option. That's right. Yeah.
And
he
Logan's
suggested
mother is like very, very different from Emily. So I have sort of a feeling that would have been the situation. Not just like a weird thing I
never thought about
also,
that's very interesting.
Also something I want to say to clear it up, because during the episode, John, I don't know what you were smoking, but Christopher and Logan, please. No, thank you. Okay.
No. I'm sorry, but
Explain.
I see
No.
I see the same. I see the same smile, the same very.
I know.
Did you see how well they got along?
Here, I'll give you this.
Of course, they got along under the circumstances here. Everything aligns. They don't have any conflicting interests. So of course they're going to get along. But like from a personality standpoint, those two have an absolutely similar personality. They both sink into their smile. They're both kind of like, super casual.
Happy-go-lucky kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there's
see
no
it,
question
and when they
about
met, they got along so well.
Yeah,
I feel like the similarities
all the same.
who got along so well.
Superficial.
When Chris went to Logan's
Christopher.
apartment and was so happy about everything that he saw and all the schools they had both been kicked out of and how they were just alike when they were growing up. Yeah,
I mean, it really feels like, I mean, but again, this is what I mean when I say like, doesn't necessarily mean that they're exactly the same. It's interesting how you can draw these lines that connect various characters through their personality traits, like, or through their life circumstances.
Chris is the most similar to Lorelai, so I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with this episode. I love this episode so much because I love that we get to see Logan be the person that he is in this episode, like, and be like this kind, like, sweet person, and he's like helping Luke through like this whole thing. Like he gives Luke one of his presents for Rory, like he's so nice to him, and like all this stuff. Like we really see like a new side of Logan. But then I have a hate relationship with this episode because of Luke's attitude. Like it irritated me how nasty he was to Logan and to Rory about everything. Like he was so like a Debbie Downer, and like that's so not Luke, and I don't understand why. And he didn't need to be. Like he just was so negative about everything, like from the get-go. And I'm like, Luke, like you just got to this guy's house, like you don't know what's happening, and like you're already negative, like you're already like being so negative about Logan when you don't really even like know him. And like granted, yeah, meeting him the way that you met him was not great. I'm gonna like give you that. But you know, it just irritated me because I'm like, this is such not a Luke like like this isn't part of like the normal Luke that we're used to. And I just was not like used to seeing him like this. And I'm like, why? Like, why are you being so negative? I don't get it. I know you're stressed out. I know you have a lot going on, but like, doesn't make sense. And like the fact that like he didn't even have a gift for Lorelai, like I was like, okay, like you should be like on top of it, dude. Like, come on.
Well, to cut him some slack, Valentine's Day was next week. So he could have honestly just bought her something on Valentine's Day. But yes, it was very nice of Logan to give him something.
What I found odd was that they introduced each other, like they said Luke Danes and whatever when they met, as if they hadn't met before when they first got there.
Well, I mean, they hadn't officially met yet because they met kind of through when they caught Lori and Logan making out at the wedding, but they never like really met until that moment because they didn't even officially meet. He just like ran in at Logan and was like, get off of her, like whatever, which naturally, of course he would, but like they didn't really meet. So that was the first time they really met. So that would make sense if I'm remembering that correctly. I mean, all the episodes kind of blend together for me because I've seen them so many times, but I think that's the first time they officially meet.
My internet's going in and out, and I can't really know. I don't really know if Emma actually said anything, but that awkwardness of
that must have been on your end because I heard her really well, and actually you cut out us while you were speaking. So I think your connection might be a little.
I know it is. But I didn't know if she said anything about the awkwardness between Lorelai, like laying in bed looking at the necklace, just knowing that that's not really from.
I don't think she thought about it like that. She just might have been like just looking at it. Because I mean, Lorelai's smart, but I don't think she's smart enough to realize that those were both not, that wasn't really hers. It was Logan to give it to Rory, because honestly it could have been same shop, same box.
Yeah, I never even picked up on the fact that she thought it wasn't from Luke. Like I just thought she was looking at it and she knew, like I didn't think that she knew that it was like from Logan, like it was Logan's other gift for Rory. I never picked up on that, so that's an interesting perspective. But
I agree with you, Emma.
I think she was just looking down at the necklace and like just realizing that like things are not really great between them right now, and she really is questioning whether or not they are going to get married because Luke isn't letting her in like at all. And like that's the other part that's so frustrating to me. It's like, dude, how can you be so like you're such a like smart guy, and how can you not understand that she's hurting, that she wants to be part of this journey with you with April, like she wants to be there. Like how do you not understand, like how are you not realizing this when it's written all over her face?
Or why would what happened to the original plot of the story? What happened to the original plot of the story? Because this right here
is wonderful.
I'll see. It could be wonderful, but what happened to the original plot of the story? What happened to the original plot of the story?
Yeah, what was that? Bro, you can't just.
The man was all in. On period.
Yeah, I know.
There's no brain surgery here.
I know, but wait,
He was all in.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Go ahead, John, but what happened?
That is not a plot. That is just a statement by a character. The plot is how that statement will unfold over the course of the series. What we're seeing here is how that statement has major conflicts that he could never have imagined coming in and disturbing it. That's the whole idea, is that can he get over that? Can he get back onto that track? Can he be all in? That's sort of the idea. I mean, the idea that a character would just say, I'm all in, and then that's it. For the rest of the series, they're just all in, and they're completely open. I mean, for me, that's not a plot. That's just a relationship.
For me,
it seemed like a plot for a very long period of time, but
for me, the whole thing, like with Luke, kind of what Emma was saying, how, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, but how snarly of an attitude Luke had, where it's like he had a preconceived notion about Logan even before the weekend happened. And yeah, I mean, like everyone knows, like the way that they first saw each other was not a great moment, obviously, but it seemed like Luke already had, even before they got in the truck, that he already had like a preconceived notion about Logan, and how he was saying that like their relationships all over the place. Do we like this guy? Do we hate this guy? And then even when they got there, when they were in the room after Logan and Rory left them, he was like, you see how like he embarrassed her, and like that whole like it's open at 8 thing, like she was humiliated. And it's like, dude, like I don't know what you were smoking, but I don't see that. And just like how he was just saying like, oh, we have to hold on and make sure they don't break up. And it's like, I think we more have to worry about your guys' relationship than Rory and Logan's. And it's just like, dude, like if you didn't want to go to Martha's Vineyard, you could have just said something. And it just like regardless of like the stress he's feeling about April, he has no it's no excuse to how he was treating Lorelai in that, or just how he was projecting onto Logan. And just like, I don't know, I thought it was very rude. And
yeah, he was very rude.
Regardless of what was going on in his life, he could have just like put that aside and leave that in Connecticut and just have a good weekend, considering Valentine's Day was that next week. And yeah.
I don't condone how Luke acts here, but we know from his character that he compartmentalizes everything. Like he can really only be, I guess for lack of a better word, all in on one thing at a time. And so right now he's all in.
Just because a character says something doesn't necessarily mean that they can hold to that promise.
Well, exactly. And I think he has tunnel vision right now, and he just sees April, and he can't see like the forest for the trees, I guess.
That's true, yeah. And also, I'm not condoning it either. It's not like I like seeing him in this way. Like, but that's to me part of the story. That's what I'm waiting to find out what will happen next. You know, I want him to overcome that, and that's why I like this. I mean, that's why these types of things, while they make me disappointed in the character, wanting more from the character, I do recognize it as really great plot. I really do recognize it as just absolutely riveting storytelling. I want to know what happens next. That was really heartbreaking there at the very end, like really, really heartbreaking. And it's no question, it's really hard to watch Lorelai just taking it. Like that's I think the hardest part about all of this, is that she's just kind of like, okay, you know, and you know, a character who we've like seen so strong throughout this series is just crumbling under all of that, and that's really painful to watch. But it's also, for me, part of why I keep watching.
Why can't she? Why is she like? Why would they have written her like that? Like that? Is it because she loves Luke so much, and that she just wants him to work through it? Because she, characteristically, you'd think she would normally just blurt out how she feels about it.
Yeah, I think that it says something about how long she's wanted something like this, and how afraid she is to lose it, even though she sees it slipping out of her fingers.
Yeah,
No,
I agree.
No, that's not it. Okay, so she's upset. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I love that. That's cool.
Okay, so
you're wrong.
No, I mean, I know Shauna's not being disrespectful. She's getting into the discussion. She's got a point of view. So I
Shauna has something to say.
you can't just like, I mean, you when there's a child involved, and you feel kind of in your relationship feels threatened by that child, you can't just be like, it's either me or her.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're totally right. I'm so glad that you told me that I'm wrong, because you are 100%.
I don't think that's, I mean, that's not, I just think that she would say, can I be a part of this? I would like to help you with this, instead of, I don't think she would say, it's either her or me.
I just think that what Shauna's trying to say is that it makes it complicated for her. It makes it complicated in a way that it's never been complicated before. Like, she didn't have that complication with Max. She didn't have that complication with Jason. She didn't have that complication with Chris. But with Luke, she has that complication, and at the very least, she doesn't seem to know exactly what to do with it.
I also think that she is afraid to say anything to Luke in regards to wanting to be a part of it, because she sees how upset he gets immediately with, for example, when the town was spying on April, he obviously understandably was upset, but how he immediately just flipped out about that, and was then immediately was well, you understand, you understand why I need time with her, you're not pressuring me. So I also think she just doesn't want to upset him, and she knows that if she said something that that he probably would get really upset and be well, see, I know, I just want time with my daughter, why are you trying to butt into this time, this and that, so I think she's just kind of afraid to rock the boat or upset him right now, because she knows how important this time is for him. So I think she's just kind of trying to ride it out, per se, even though it's killing her inside. But it's heartbreaking to watch, because like you said, John, she's such a strong character, and so it's heartbreaking to watch her just sit back and take this from Luke, even though I think she's doing it out of love for him, and how much she cares about him, and how she understands how important it is to have a relationship with your kid, because she knows, raising Rory on her own, what that's like, and what it was like for Rory to not always have Chris in her life. And so she knows how important it is for Luke, because Luke hadn't been in April's life for the first 12 years of her life. He didn't get to experience that. So she also knows how important that is for him, experiencing that through Rory's eyes. So I think she just wants to keep the peace in any way that she can. And as much as it kills her to do so by not saying anything, I think she just wants to keep everything as peaceful for them as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think she's scared. I think she's just there's no point, because Luke's just going to do what Luke's going to do.
I think it's
I think hold on, let's stop for a second. Sorry. We've had a few people who have been flashing for a while that haven't really had a chance to chime in. Mary, actually, I've noticed you were flashing up there for a bit. And I mean chime in folks that haven't been able to talk much at all during our entire conversation. I'd like to get some of those folks chit-chatting a bit.
I was going to say, I think Lorelai is just acting based on parental respect. I think she's been in a position of setting rules when she was dating, and she expected the people she was with to follow those rules. And so as parental respect, she's doing the same for Luke. And she's hoping that he'll notice that he doesn't need to have strict rules. But it goes back to that mom code. When a parent says something about their kid, you don't contradict the parent and the kid.
Yeah.
When it comes to their kid.
Yeah, I'm completely 100% on board with this. I did not see that. I completely see it now. 100%. That's what I think is going on. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Mary, for opening my eyes on that.
No problem.
Okay, so quick question. For everyone who says that Luke can only focus on one thing or be all in one thing at a time. So are we confirming that Luke is a bird?
Luke is a what? Is a what?
That's a personality.
He's a Scorpio.
Wait, he's a what?
Zodiac signs. I don't want to
Carl
do.
said, "Are we confirming that Luke is not very bright?"
Oh, so you said a bird brain. I just wanted to clarify that that's what you said, bird brain.
Yeah, or you can just call him a bird.
Yeah, okay, great. That's all I wanted to hear.
Can I jump in and say something?
Please.
Really quick? Since we're talking about, Lorelai being afraid to say something because, this is Luke's, kid, and she knows what that feels like to have, that responsibility. We also have to remember that their biggest fight was over Jess. When Lorelai stepped in and said anything about him, Luke didn't like it.
That's right.
When they had their big blow up after the car accident, she knows how Luke is going to react with just that situation, and this is his daughter now.
Yes.
So that's probably also playing in her head.
100%. I had totally forgotten that. That is absolutely right. And yeah. And that sort of also speaks to what I like, why kind of there's an instinct, whether I sort of associate it with the kid or not. I think that there's this instinct that she has that she's just sort of like, I don't want to lose this because I really do think that this could be the one. And so I have to respect all these things, even though it hurts the way that it does. And, I'm sure she's thinking like, I don't want him to freeze me out. Like he froze me out for like however long, couple episodes that he froze her out on. That makes complete sense. See, I just love this episode for all of this.
Wow.
All of this stuff just like digs so deep.
Yeah. Also,
to me, what's
I think
sorry, go ahead.
Interesting that Rory, when they're in the kitchen, Rory turns to Lorelai and's like, these can be the ones. Like she's thinking about that with Logan, and she's seen that with her and Luke. So it's interesting that she's shifting in that direction. It seems like she, just from that one comment, she's already thinking about a possible future with Logan. So I just think that's really cool that like that was kind of planted.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question to the couch for Mike Flashes. Think back to when you watched this, when you first watched it for the very first time. Did you sort of feel like, he's going to be going to London at the end of all this? Flash, yes, if you think that he was going to go to London. Wow. I mean, I think he's going to London. I mean, I really do. I think the end of this is gonna tragically end for them.
When I first watched it, I always felt like he just couldn't take that challenge on with his dad. Like not that Logan's weak, but that his grandfather and his father were so insistent.
He's
on what
intimidated
he
by
needed to
his
do
dad.
with his life. Yeah, I always felt that through the first run. So that's why at this point, the question you're asking, I thought that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 7 and 8 when I was like 7 when I started watching the show, and I was about 11 probably when season 6 was starting. So I really am trying to like really think back into my brain if I really thought that he was going to London at that point. But I think I probably did. I think I probably had kind of an inkling that.
I just think that if you feel uneasy at all, if you feel any sense of unease there at the car, then it's probably related to a fear that you think he's probably going to go.
No, I'm pretty sure I did. If I remember.
And what's interesting is all we've seen. We know that he's incredibly frustrated with his father, but his father is constantly getting the better of him. And his father has been presented to us on the show as not really able to be beaten it's certainly not by his son. It drives his son to drinking. It drives his son to extreme anger and frustration, but ultimately nothing changes, which means Mitchum always wins.
He's actually kind of what Lorelai could have been if she never left.
Yep. I would agree. I mean, to me, the thing about Logan is he doesn't want to be controlled by his father, but
On the other hand, he wants all the trappings of wealth and privilege.
Right.
And what I think is interesting is that you see kind of in the build up to this episode, here he is, helping out with the Yale Daily newspaper doesn't get out crisis. Here he is, Rory gets kicked out of her apartment. He's like, oh, hey, move in with me. He gets along great with her dad. At the beginning of this episode, it looks like, they're a real solid couple, and they're kind of the ones who are confident and in charge. And then boom, in 1 minute, his father, the real money shows up, and boom, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, the person who's paying for all of this, the person who paid the person who paid for Rory's necklace or her
yes,
what was it, bracelet,
yes,
the person
everything.
who paid for Lorelai's necklace, like that was Mitchum. He paid for all of that. He paid for their whole stay there that day, everything,
Wow,
the
yeah.
food they ate, and
Well,
so
and I think that's why Logan abuses his wealth and privilege, is because
Yeah.
he knows
I know,
they're
but
expecting all this from him, so he's abusing it. And I'm not saying that's a right thing to do, but I always felt that's part of the reason why he abused it, is because it's his way of saying, see what I can do.
I know, but Julie's making a really good point, which is that he also doesn't want to lose that. It seems as though like that's the conflict here. Can he give that up? Because Mitchum is not going to talk to him the way that he talks to him if he didn't think he had something over him, right? Like he knows that he can yell at him, he can tell him what to do, because he knows that he has something that Logan wants, and it's clearly.
He also is from a family that would have left him a trust fund.
Yeah.
So eventually he would have the option of not being under his father.
That father and that grandfather would not have given him the trust
I was
fund.
going to
It's not
say
like
it's very
who
possible
got all
that
this money from his grandfather. No.
It's very possible. I mean,
Huntsberger don't play that.
Like, look at Christopher, for example. Christopher has been broke, and just suddenly came into wealth. So it was like very clear that there were purse strings being held by one person. I mean, Mitchum strikes me as the type of guy who absolutely knows how powerful his wealth is, and would never, especially with somebody who thinks he needs, would never let them be in a position where he couldn't hold something really, really high above them. And that, to me, seems to be the major conflict for the character. When we first meet the character, he's nothing but privilege, right? He's just like swaggering, talking like a rich kid who can get anything he wants, whatnot. And while he's been with Rory, we've seen him become more likable, and we just see this really like this side of him that is really hard to not like. He seems to care about her, but the truth is that privilege is still there, that wealth is still there, and can he, when push comes to shove, can he let go of that kind of stuff? Because he could easily get rid of Mitchum. All he has to do is say, I don't want any of your anything anymore, I'm my own person, and Mitchum would cut him off and it would be over. I think that's
which is why I was saying I don't think he knows how to get out from under his family.
Yeah.
He's not.
And I was
what
gonna
mean
say,
by that.
I was
He
gonna
just
jump
doesn't
in
know
here
how to
too,
do it.
because clearly just from that one conversation, that one argument with Mitchum, you can tell that Mitchum has been like this since he was a little boy, since he was a little kid, and so there's probably a lot of trauma there for him, and so it probably he probably doesn't know how to stand up to him, because he's kind of terrified in his own way of him, because he's been like this his whole life. He's been this controlling, intimidating guy since he was a little boy. So he probably doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to stand up to him. He doesn't know how to, get out from under him. Like Chris said, get out from under him and his family. Like, he doesn't know what to do. That's why I think he turns to drinking, and he turns to the Life and Death Brigade, because that's I think Jesse said this the other, a couple days ago, that's his escape. That's his way of coping with all of
I know,
this.
but it's sort of abstract when you say it and when you put it in those terms, right? Like, I can't get out from underneath my family. But if you really boil down what the family is, right, in this in the situation here, it's what? It's relationships, and it's money. So the question is it about he doesn't want to like get out from under his family because he doesn't want to ruin the relationship that he has with his dad? I don't know if I buy that, because he doesn't have a good relationship with his dad. So it must be the money.
It must be the money.
It must be the money. It must be the privilege. And so when
why he doesn't know how to do it, because he doesn't know how to make his own money yet.
maybe so.
True.
I'm already imagining a scene at like an airport where he's actually telling Rory, like, it's going to be fine. I'm just going to be here for a while, you know, and we just know that it's not going to be the case, but that like ultimately what he's doing is choosing that life, that privilege over her.
You know, I'm going to be honest. When I watched this scene the first time when I was a kid, I laughed.
Wait, was that your prediction, John?
That's my prediction. I mean, I'm certainly not going to put kernels down on the airport scene, because I have no idea if they're gonna actually have an airport scene. But I do feel pretty strongly in my prediction that he's going to London, and that he will try to convince Rory and himself that it's just for a short time, and that that it's good for them, and it's good for him, and all that kind of stuff. Something in that kind of general vicinity. And maybe she says, sorry, I'm not into that. I can't be with you if that's the choice you're making. I don't really know. But I feel like he's going to ultimately just give in, go, and then try and reframe it as this is a good thing. This is going to be fine, you know? Okay.
Knowing
he
what we
doesn't
know
how to
now,
make his own money.
Yeah,
That's
knowing
why.
what we know now, I feel like that's a really great prediction. Like, just from, if this was as far as I've seen, I would say,
And I agree with that, Beth. Yeah, he just.
And by the way, my
Logan,
prediction might change as we get a little further into the series. I reserve the right for prediction change.
All right, as long as there's some fair warning so we can write it down correctly again. You know, Mary keeps track of the track.
There's some kernels on it.
Yeah, this episode's burned in. I'm feeling pretty confident that Mary and I will have some conversation when this episode.
I just want to tell you, I really enjoyed your reaction when Mitchum walked into the room.
Me too.
Because I was looking forward to hear what you would say, because I knew that you would just be like, if you weren't spoiled, I knew you'd be shocked and kind of excited about it.
No,
So,
completely unspoiled. Completely unspoiled. Was an awesome moment. One of the best moments in the series.
Did you even notice that Greg Henry was in the episode?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
was wondering if you were reading the credits.
I didn't. I wasn't paying attention to the credits. I didn't. And actually, you know what? That's a good thing. I should probably not look at credits. I should probably avoid that, because that kind of spoils you a bit.
Like watching a recap?
No, reading the credits to see which actors are in the episode. I was wondering if he had noticed that Mitchum Hunterberger, the actor who plays him.
But to Carl's point, watching a recap will also spoil you, because if you see a recap of Jess, you know, at the beginning of an episode, you're gonna be asking yourself, why are they showing Jess here in season 6 and we haven't seen him? And oh, I have a feeling Jess is coming back in this episode.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for the great reaction.
Yeah, it was fun. It really was fun. Really not a big fandom episode.
People just really don't like the Luke and Lorelai stuff.
Yeah, I like.
I wouldn't put it in my top, but you know, if it's there, I'll watch it. Like watching Baby Looney Tunes if I'm sick.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic episode in terms of the series, because it shows everyone's flaws.
Basically, yeah, I agree with that, Julie, because basically when I first watched this episode, and this is basically when I first watched this episode, it told me it pretty much confirmed me and my family's predictions on what was going to happen. And that really pissed me off, because I don't like plot points that confirm my feelings on what's going to happen. I like to be surprised.
That's fair.
Yep. No. I would agree. I mean, like I said, that one moment when Mitchum walked in, but, yeah, it's like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, as in I should have thought that was going to happen. I had no idea until it actually did.
Yeah, I mean that was a 100% super surprise for me. That came out of absolute nowhere. I did not see that coming at all. It was great.
I think that if this was an episode that I'd never seen before, I would have had the same kind of reaction that you did, John. I mean, but considering that I've seen it,
Shauna, would you mind just for the room, just giving us a rendition of how it would have sounded if you had been surprised?
I would have been like, holy cow, that Mitchum just like busted in the door. Oh, and Luke, straighten your ass up. There's no reason to be acting like that. That's how I was up.
Thank you very much, Shauna.
I thought you were gonna ask me to sing the Golden Girls theme. No.
Shauna, would you mind giving us a rendition of the Golden Girls theme?
Let's see. Sure. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road.
Back again.
Wait, that's the Golden Girls theme?
You're
a confidant.
And if
you
invited everyone you knew,
I totally
you would
sang
be
that.
the biggest gift from me. And the thank you for being a friend.
Hilarious. I love it.
By the way,
Thank you,
I was
Shauna.
thinking that when I worked in the nursing home, they played that constantly. I'm telling you.
That's funny.
You would hear it coming out of you would pass one room and you would hear it, and then you'd pass another room and it would be on. And so I would just sing along with it as I was going down the hall. I'd be like, "Thank you for being a friend."
Did they just assume that everyone at the nursing home just really liked that show?
I'm guessing, but I mean, it was individuals that's what they chose to watch.
And by the way, for those of you who are like, look, this is a Gilmore Girls watch. What are you doing singing the Golden Girls theme song? Let's get some things straight. First of all, the two shows have girl in the title. They both have two words that start with the letter G, and Stan Zimmerman, who wrote 2 episodes of Gilmore Girls, also wrote on Golden Girls.
Yes, and also,
the
if
math
we
is
titled
adding
the
up.
room Golden Girls, we'd get the same amount of weirdos in Clubhouse. So, I'll
Correct.
Yeah.
We might actually get more.
Oh my
Pretty much,
goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any Wanda at large audience, fans in the audience for Stan Zimmerman too, then we know he's a legend.
So, are there any other areas of the episode that we should
The gym
focus on?
Yeah, the gym.
The gym is so
What was about the gym?
The girls working out.
What was up about the gym, or why should we talk about the gym? I mean, the gym was okay.
Don't you feel? When do they go to the gym?
Yeah, don't you feel this is so out of character for Rory? It's like, why are they starting to go to the gym? So she just got back with Logan.
I think it's something that maybe her and Logan do together when they're at Martha's Vineyard, because clearly they've been to Martha's Vineyard before. So I think it's just something they do while they're there.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted it. I interpret it as this is not something that Rory normally does, but they're like on vacation in Martha's Vineyard. It's this like, and like, that's what you do, go work out, drink a little bit of cucumber water, like that. It's just part of some weird little experience that they're having here. They also don't actually do any working out. Like, that's the thing that's funny about it, is that they're just kind of there to experience the idea of working out, which does actually feel very in line with the Gilmore Girls.
And I keep
But
hearing
is she
everybody
doing
say,
that?
well,
Yeah.
sorry.
I don't know. I do that every time I'm on a trip. I go work out, but I don't do it when I'm at home.
Yeah, I actually think that Rory does work out with Logan while she's in Martha's Vineyard, but I think she didn't want to with Lorelai because Lorelai would just make fun of her for it. So she just like pretended not to, but I could actually see her like and Logan like working out together, like for real working out together in Martha's Vineyard, like not just like, doing the Lorelai workout. I think she could actually work out like for real with Logan.
Sabine, you wanted to continue your thought, Sabina?
No, just briefly. Is she doing it because she thinks Logan wants her to do it? So I feel like that is part of his life and not of her life, and she might feel she has to do that to be part of it. So that's why I always felt this is out of character.
I mean, I think that that's definitely a good theory, and if she's doing it, then it's out of character in terms of the Rory we've known, but would then officially be in character if that's what she is doing now, right? Like if she's doing it just because she wants to keep Logan, then the idea of doing something out of character just to keep the guy that she loves would be part of her character.
Maybe she's going because she just wants to spend time with him.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I also think she could have actually, like Sabine said, started to like do it in the beginning for just because she thought she had to, but maybe she actually started to like it. Like maybe it was something that she was like, oh, I actually like this.
Whoa. That I don't buy. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, I'm surprised that they go to Martha's Vineyard.
You're gonna make her
cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
No, I was just kidding. I would like the idea that working out would be that anyone would find it pleasurable is just that was sort of the joke that I was making.
Got it. I actually find it pleasurable, which is something surprising to me that I never thought possible. But I actually do really love working out now. And I never thought I would in my entire life. But for the last like 5 years, I've actually really enjoyed it. So it can happen.
Everybody keeps talking about how, well, where have they found time to go to the Martha's Vineyard? They just got back together. Maybe, this is February. The breakup happened like
November.
I don't know what month.
That is
but
true.
November, December, January.
Yeah, so
February.
a few months in
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard.
I think they were back together in January though, 'cause that's when they would have gone back to school. And he started following her around all the time. They should have got back together.
Yeah.
By the way, did everyone remember to harvest their kernels because they are they've evaporated?
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other areas of the or do we want to spend more time on the gym?
You know what, John? I'm just wondering what happened to the original plot of the story. I mean, that was 5 years of material.
You are persistent. I will give you that, Carl. You have what we call grit.
No, you know what? There's a big reason why, like, I really, really like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel right now. There's a big reason why. And hopefully once you finish this whole series, and maybe if you watch one episode of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel,
you should put the brakes on that because we're gonna likely be doing a Maisel watch here on Marcus.
I was looking forward to rewatching it again before season 4 anyway.
Hey,
let's do this. I've never seen it.
Hey,
it's really good. It's like, I don't pay for Amazon. I don't care for Amazon, but I pay, a free trial once a year to watch that show. That's how good it is.
You are.
You only get one free trial.
I don't know, and I'm not gonna question it.
The number of times that I've
number of days, you
the number of times that I've cashed in that 7-day trial that you get on.
I mean,
pretty
so do
much
I.
everyone.
I do it all the time.
Sure.
But I've never heard of
I mean, I don't
doing
have
it
any more.
once a
I don't have
year.
any more of that. But Babsy and I, we had a little rotation going. We're like, have you done stars yet? No. Let's get on stars. Let's.
Yeah, like 7 days
Oh, I do
here,
it all
10
the time.
days there.
Yeah. But
Prime
I've never
does
heard of
30
somebody doing
days.
it for a year. That's every year, once a year. That's cool.
My mom does it every year for the holidays to get the shipping.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can do
got
it. You can do it about. I think if you go 10 months without it, I think you can get another free trial or something like that. So she gets it about every 10 or 11.
Interesting.
Oh,
Got it.
My dad's paying for mine, so I'm good.
Either
all
way,
right.
may as well.
I made folks moderators. I am going to skedaddle here, unless there was anything else that anyone wanted to chime in about.
Thanks.
No, we're good, friend.
Coming in, John. Thanks for doing this again, John. It's always so much fun.
What was that? What was that, Carl?
Oh, actually, I have something to tell you before you go.
Please tell me.
You know that ice cream with the Cheetos and the chocolate thing? Okay, so there's been a lot of people who have messaged me for the ingredients and stuff. So it's spreading, John.
So here's the thing. I think I mentioned this actually early on. That is not mine. That is not. I don't want to claim credit to. That is Sean. That is Sean Gunn. Sean is the one who told me to do it. I did it, loved it, and I shared that with you. So he actually gets the full credit of that. I sent him a text message with a picture of the Flaming Hot Cheetos that I was just eating alone, and he sent back, "You need to put that on top of some ice cream with some chocolate sauce."
Do you use dark chocolate or milk chocolate sauce, John?
I do dark.
Okay, but you got to tell them which brand though.
Well, I do the Ghirardelli, but Carl did the Tirani.
Yes, Carl was shopping while I was talking to him, and he was sending
They're both,
pictures, and I'm like,
they're both
"That's what
gourmet.
you
They're
do?"
both like a gourmet chocolate sauce. So you want to go gourmet with that. And
yes.
What about hot fudge?
Do you know gourmet, Carl?
And you want to also, you can do. I mean, I do French vanilla. Carl, for whatever strange reason, decided that he was going to be unconventional and went with vanilla bean. I highly recommend it with the French vanilla.
Ooh,
personally.
He actually was debating between them, and none of us could remember which one you told us.
French vanilla, and I told him it was French vanilla, that it should.
You gave me emojis.
I
We'll talk about this.
I gave him the painter emoji with the little beret. I mean, come on, Steph. Would you have gotten that instantly as French vanilla?
No, I didn't get that, friend. I'm sorry. I have a different phone than you. Remember?
Yeah, I would not have gotten that either. And I have an
So he
iPhone.
said he said vanilla bean or French vanilla, and I gave him 3 emojis. I gave him the painter with the beret. I gave him French fries, and what was the other one that I gave him? I forgot, but it was also pretty French.
So I wonder what it would be like with magic shell or with hot fudge. I wonder if that would be
the magic shell. I don't know. I don't think that I would.
Not magic shell.
But I loved it when I was little. They even make that anymore.
Yeah, like get the gourmet chocolate sauce. I mean, John is correct. Come on, Sherry. Like John is correct. Get the gourmet chocolate sauce. Get Ghirardelli or Tirani. It slaps. It really makes it just.
I'll eat the ice cream, but you can leave out the chip.
I'm telling you, it's the salt, the salty, like hot salty thing going on with the chocolate and the vanilla is just out of control. And also, by the way, Cheetos, underneath all that salt, underneath all that chili, it is a corn chip, and corn chips are sweet. So it's like having crumbled, almost like a Captain Crunch on your ice cream, but covered in chili sauce and a little bit of salt, which gives it that salty, sweet, deliciousness.
Delicious. I like how you say delicious. Delicious.
Dirty.
Somebody on the television program.
Would
said
it work just as well with the regular Cheetos? Because
they're not spicy.
The reason why I wouldn't do it with the regular Cheetos is because the regular Cheetos has a cheese powder on it, and I think a cheddar cheese on ice cream seems a little weird.
It will taste bad.
But does the Flaming Hot Cheetos not have a cheese taste?
No, it does not. The Flaming Hot Cheetos has a chili pepper, like a chili pepper thing.
Oh, okay, that's
It's
cool.
similar to what could also probably work just as well? Those Andy Cap hot fries. Andy Cap hot fries.
Never heard of it in my life.
I love those hot fries.
So get some Andy Cap hot fries. You can also pulverize those and sprinkle those on some vanilla ice cream, and then glaze that with and you can get fancy with it. Do it like in zigzags, with the chocolate, do it like you're a chef at a gourmet restaurant, a pastry chef at a gourmet restaurant.
See, I don't like
Andy
it.
Cap hot
So
fries are
I
the
don't think I'd
OG.
like it. So, but it sounds interesting.
Have you ever had the chili pepper chocolate before? The chocolate.
Yeah. Yes, I have, and it's
Yes, I
delicious.
love it.
Yeah.
Chili pepper and chocolate goes really well together. That's sort of the idea. Chili pepper and chocolate goes really great together. All
Ice
right,
cream's
everyone.
just the vehicle.
Hold
ice
on.
cream is just
Megan, who just came up, posted something in the Facebook group about this. Megan, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, John, if you hadn't seen it, I tagged you. There is an article I found. I heard on the radio this morning. There's an ice cream chain that is now selling hot Cheeto ice cream and hot Cheeto shakes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh,
This is what I'm talking about.
I think it's in Los Angeles.
Although I'm telling you, that came from Sean Gunn. That was not my original.
He needs to sue.
Sean Gunn is the blueprint we've
the
been
company
new.
called Marble Slab Creamery.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the car on the radio and I hear it and I'm like, what did they just say?
They heard our conversations. They've been sitting in on Remarcus.
Yeah, they were listening.
Well, a lot of big things happen here at Remarcus. All right, everyone. Thank you once again for watching this. This episode was rad. Sorry for all of the fans who do not like it, but I loved it. And I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another
Thank you as always, John.
good episode.
Thank
Episode
you.
16. Folks, we are only 6 episodes away. Just so you
And
know.
tomorrow is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Tomorrow's going to be great.
Reserve your spot on the couch.
Tomorrow's going to be great. It's called Bridesmaids Revisited. I'm gonna actually send Devin a message now just to make sure that she's all good to go. She's on Clubhouse, so I think everything should be fine there. But yeah, I'm excited. And then on Thursday we've got Eris coming, so that's going to be another fun one. And something that I also forgot that I wanted to mention about, I know that folks have been really eagerly anticipating the ability to start creating watches, and we've been talking about other shows. I have this mechanic, as I said, ready to go, but also I want you to consider that when we, as some of this starts rolling out, I'm going to be thinking about what's the best rollout of shows and what shows might go really well together and whatnot. So I guess this is my way of saying, give me a beat on some of this, in terms of if there's a show that you're really eager to do a watch on, just give me a beat on it, because it's possible that we might make it a big show that we watch together, and likely going to do things a little differently than we did with the Gilmore Girls watch, in that we'll probably be weaving multiple shows in together, so that we're actually watching multiple shows during a week rather than just one show during a week. And I have some ideas for how I want to do that, and what shows I think might be really nice together. As I said, just give me a beat. I know a lot of you have been DMing me about shows that you want to start a watch on, and I'm super excited about it and want all of you to dive into all of that. But it's very possible that the show that you want to do might be one of the ones that we're actually looking at doing next as sort of. I guess it's my way of saying, like, if it is, then I kind of want to put some oomph behind it. I would want to, like, see if I can't get some folks to join us, and and get a little bit of publicity on it and whatnot. All right.
Woohoo! Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah. All right. I'm off. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow.
Take care, John.
Have a good night. Get that reservation in if you haven't. Bye,
Spend
everyone.
those kernels.